Alright, so yeah, this is gonna be an explanation video, for my new out of bounds record. The reason I'm doing it is not because, I got a record or whatever. I was gonna do it anyways, whether I got it or not, but I think this is a good time to do it, because a lot of people are really confused about out of bounds, and well, Portal in general, but mostly out of bounds and the category, because it's just Portal itself is already a confusing game, and this category makes it even 10 times worse. So I'm going to try my best to explain everything that's going on. It's not going to be like a tutorial, but it's just going to be, a relatively brief explanation of what's happening and the mechanics around everything. Okay, so let's start. Yeah, I think we're good. So this is Portal. So the run starts off like normal. Pretty much the same as inbounds on the first two chambers. Mostly movement based with ABH and shit. So yeah, I'm just playing around in this box that we can't get out of. Yeah, I can actually probably skip ahead, so I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so here we go. So here, I'm gonna do 2 ABHs down the hall, and then I'm gonna try to get right into the door. That's optimal. And then try to get 2 ABHs and then a hop into the elevator. So chamber 0 actually went pretty well. I believe my split was a 200.8 or something. It was pretty decent. Here I get the 2 hop, which is actually a little difficult and not consistent. Please place the weighted storage cube on the 1500 megawatt aperture science heavy duty super. There's not much to explain in these first couple chambers, so I'm just kind of rambling at this point. So I guess I'll just wait for the next chamber.
Please move quickly to the chamber lock, as the effects of prolonged exposure to the button are not part of this test.
Okay, so here's where things start breaking. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Which may, in semi-rare cases, emancipate dental fillings, crowns, tooth enamel, and teeth.
Alright, so you get the portal gun, and I shoot on this line right here, because when I go through the portal, I can just walk straight up and do the save glitch rather than having to walk like to a different area on the wall. So I use that at the top of this line as a marker for where to go, and it's just convenient. So I do that. I go up and save. I do save glitch right here. What save glitch does, in brief terms, is it just messes with my body and stuff, or Chell's body, and in layman's terms, it just kind of helps you. Well, not helps you. It makes you be able to see out of bounds if you shoot portals in the correct place and stuff. I'm not going to go into too technical explanation of it. There's explanations online and stuff, but you just have to know that I did a glitch here where I shot a portal on top of this wall. I looked over the wall, and then I looked back. And then I save and loaded, and this messes with my view and stuff. Not necessarily my view, but just where I can shoot portals and where they're shot from, and I can see out of bounds and stuff. And yeah, so that's what happens there. But you can't see that in the run because the load is cut out like we do with any run. So anyways, right there I shoot a portal right there because if it shoots a portal, I shoot a portal in such a way that it helps me see out of bounds. It's kind of confusing, but yeah, it just helps me see out of bounds here. So I'm gonna look out of bounds here, and then here there's a surface on the floor of chamber 3, which is the chamber after this one. Chamber 2 and 3 are on the same map. So I'm shooting there's a slight area right in this part where I can shoot out of bounds on the floor. So that's what I'm doing. And then I go over here, and actually I mess up here, so okay, anyways, so I revert a save. That was my only revert of the run. And I go over here. Okay, so the portal I just shot was out of bounds. But in some instances we can actually get back in bounds by doing something called a portal quick reentry, or PQR for short. Pretty much what we want to do is when we're halfway between this orange portal right here, I want to shoot a portal immediately after crossing it. And what this does is it destroys the portal while my body is like halfway between it. And when I'm halfway through it and the portal is destroyed, it knocks me back in bounds. That's just the nature of the engine. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And this one's arguably one of the hardest PQRs to do, just because of the timing is weird. So yeah, I'm gonna do that right here. So I shoot a portal right there, right as I cross, and you can see now I'm back in bounds in chamber 3. And then here, I shoot a portal on the wall, I do a portal peek up, and then go to the elevator.
Remember, the Aperture Science Bring Your Daughter to Work Day is the perfect time to have her tested.
And so that's chamber 2 and 3. That's a good intro to save glitch, because there's a lot more coming up. Here I'm gonna do another save glitch. So I'm gonna shoot a portal on the left side of this wall. That's a good position.
Chamber 4.
And then save glitch is right here. The way I know I save glitch, well, right here I'm not, because my crosshairs right now are filled in. This means I'm not in a save glitch position, or I'm not able to save glitch, at least on this wall. So I have to reposition myself, and actually if we go back a couple frames, you can see now my crosshairs are not filled in. This means I'm like kind of stuck in the portal right now, and all that tells me is that I can now do the save glitch. So save glitch there. I shoot a portal on that wall, because if I don't, I will fall out of bounds on the floor around here. So that stops me from falling out of bounds. And then I jump out a little bit, and then I want to shoot a portal on the boundary of this wall, so I can not only cancel my save glitch, but it also allows me to shoot portals out of bounds. You'll see right there. I actually messed up my portal shot a couple times. Okay, so anyways, so this box right here is actually in chamber 5. So the way this works is chamber 5, this box at least, has a trigger on the floor that destroys all portals when you go into it. And so the point is that I shoot a portal on this floor where the trigger is, like right now. So now the portal's on that floor, and so when I walk through this orange portal, what happens is I go through it and I hit the trigger at the same time I'm halfway between it. So what that means is I hit the trigger. So what that means is that it destroys the portal and I'm halfway between it. It's the same concept as a PQR, but this is called physical reentry. I'm sorry, it's not physical reentry. It's called trigger reentry or something. It's kind of a rare form of PQR, but it works. So yeah, and right there, I'm back in bounds. The reason you actually saw me get bumped out is because I went through the portal on the side, and for some reason it bumps you out a little bit. Like right there, I get bumped out, or no, right there I get bumped out. But I just have to go through the center of the portal, and then I hit the trigger while I'm halfway between it, and it destroys the portal. And I'm back in bounds. If I shoot too early now, if you notice, the screen kind of shakes right there. If I shoot before the screen shakes, what happens is I have multiple orange portals now in chamber 4 and 5, and the game gets confused. And essentially I softlocked the game. I'm not able to complete the game after that because the trigger was already hit, and if I try to redo chamber 5, it never reopens the orange portal. It's kind of confusing, but just know it softbox the game. So I have to wait a second to shoot the portal here.
Our previous statement
And
suggesting that we
here
would not
I have to
monitor
wait for
this
GLaDOS
chamber was
to
an
stop
outright
talking,
fabrication. Good
so I can
job.
just kind of fool around. But I
Despite
went in the
our
elevator
required
anyways.
test
But the trigger for this
protocol,
elevator to
we
go
will
up
stop
is for GLaDOS's
enhancing the
dialogue
truth
to end.
in 3, 2.
So right now. So there's no rush to get into the elevator after that. This is next chamber is 6 and 7. So I'm gonna ABH here. I'm gonna shoot a portal on here, and this is gonna help later in a sec. Right here, I'm doing something called the quantum crouch. Give me 1 sec actually. Quantum crouch. So what? Oh shit. So it's also called Schrodinger's crouch, and pretty much when I crouch and uncrouch, there's an animation when I stand up, and during that animation, I can actually re-crouch, and it glitches my stance into 2 sort of states. The camera is a separate thing from the body at this point, and in layman's terms, it just allows me to see higher than I should be able to see. And that's why it's called Schrodinger's crouch or quantum crouch, because I'm in 2 different states at the same time, both crouching and standing. So just know that this little glitch right here allows me to see out of bounds for a second, and that's coming up. So my cue right here, you're gonna hear the orb hit the ceiling, right? Okay, I'm actually gonna rewind back a little bit. So I do a quantum crouch right now, and then right there you hear that bing, and that bing is the orb hitting the ceiling. And if I go too quick down this, I will actually die because I'll hit the orb. But once I hear it hit the ceiling, that's like my audio cue to go, because that means that the orb will not be in a position to kill me when it goes through the portal. So yeah. And so I'm gonna go, and then when I go through the portal, I'm gonna air strafe into this portal, and right before I go into this portal, I'm gonna shoot a blue portal right here, like this. Okay, and then this is kind of hard. I'm gonna do a 180 right here, and since I'm quantum crouched, it makes me be able to see a bit higher than I should, out of bounds. Right now, I'm actually gonna go back a bit so you can see that.
Safety is one of many enrichment center goals.
I messed up again, sorry.
Safety is one of many enrichment center goals.
I keep Let me see if I can get this. Alright, right there. So now I can see out of bounds, and this elevator right here is the elevator in chamber 7, because 6 and 7 are connected in the same map. There's no like loading between the elevators. And you can see these I'm not sure if you can even see it, but there's just like this outline here in blue specks. That's the Fizzler. So I can either shoot in the Fizzler, which is right here where this blue dot is, or I can shoot above it. It's actually better to shoot up here because I'll show you later actually. So I shoot actually above the Fizzler. So this isn't Fizzler reentry, and I guess I'll explain that. So Fizzler reentry is when you're halfway between the portal and you hit the Fizzler while you're halfway between it, and when you hit a Fizzler, it destroys the portal. So it knocks you back in bounds. It's the same. Once again, these are all PDRs, or portal destruction reentry. Those are all like PQR and Fizzler reentry and trigger reentry. Those are all like forms of PDR. So anyways, I shoot actually above the Fizzler there. So I need to do a PQR. So now you can actually see right here, it's in weird out of bounds space. And I need to get back in bounds. So right before I go into this portal, I'm actually going to shoot a portal right here to do PQR to get back in bounds. It's now in bounds in chamber 7. And the trigger for the elevator to open in chamber 7 is not back here, it's actually up here somewhere. So I'm actually going to go forward a little bit to make the trigger for the elevator to open, or hit the trigger. And so now I can just
Seen to
ABH
the
into the
left of
elevator,
chamber can
and that's
has
chamber
caused
6 and
permanent
7.
disabilities such as vaporization. Please be careful.
The next two chambers are the same as inbounds, but I guess I'll explain it anyways. So I ABH here, and I do a quick jump off the railing. I'm actually pretty consistent at this now. I'm gonna shoot a portal on the top right side of this square right here, and there's a texture butting out of this wall that I can actually jump on. And what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna jump on here and then strafe around onto this railing over here into the elevator, and you'll see that in a sec. I'm actually in a pretty bad position here. I wanted to be more to the left, but my portal is in a bad position, so I had to compensate for this by strafing to the left right there and getting on. And so for me to keep my momentum, I want to actually jump immediately after hitting that square. So I jump right when I hit it to keep my speed, and then right here as I go around the corner, I air strafe to this railing. If I don't, I'll just fall in the water. And air strafing is done by just holding a strafe button and moving your mouse in the same direction. So for example here, I want to go to the left, so I hold A and slowly move my mouse to the left, and that allows me to move my position in such a way that I get to the left side, or I go more left than I should be able to. And then I can just ABH into the elevator.
Official testing record, followed by death. Good luck. Very impressive. Please note that any appearance of danger is merely a device to enhance your testing experience.
Okay, so this is chamber 9. There's actually a strat I can do here. Hold on. Okay, so before I go on, there's actually a strat I can do here. It's about a half second faster, or I don't know. It's like a half second to a second. Where I do a save, which I'll explain that later, but it's just something to keep in mind. So here, I step on the button, and there's a slight section under this door where you can actually shoot a portal, and when the door shuts, it doesn't destroy the portal, like that. So now the portal is halfway on this side and halfway on the other side of the elevator. So what this allows me to do is I can go to the bottom half of the portal, and then the top half is on the other side of the elevator, which is at the end. So that skips having to go to the cube. So I just jump back through like that. And here's where the new strat could come in, but I don't do it. Over here I can do a save glitch by shooting a portal on the left side and then save glitching right here. At that point I will ABH into the elevator, and I can do a couple of things, and what ends up happening is I get in front of the elevator on 10, so I don't have to wait for the elevator to open, but I don't do that, so don't worry about it, but it's just something once again to keep in mind. And that's chamber 9. That was actually pretty good. And then chamber 10 is a lot different from inbounds now. It used to be the same, but there were some shots found. I'm gonna save glitch immediately. So I shoot a portal on the right hand mode, like right side of this, and then I wait for the portal to open, and right when the portal opens I save glitch right now. I then jump over here, and I can now go out of bounds. And I do the same thing as I did on chamber 4. I just kind of like jump back and shoot a portal at the same time and then hold forward. And what this allows me to do is shoot a portal on the outside of the boundary of the map while being unsaved glitch now, which makes it so my view isn't messed up anymore. Or not my view, but just like everything's not messed up. But the save glitch initially just allows me to see out of bounds. So now I'm out of bounds in 10. And now I'm just shooting certain parts of the map so I can get to the end. So I shoot here first, this black area, right here. And then so now I need to do like 3 portal stands. If you don't know anything about portal standing, pretty much it's like a portal peak, but you're on like a surface in which you can like fall on both sides, and so it's really hard. You have to be really precise with your movement and stuff. It's actually harder than a portal peak, but anyways, a portal peak from the ground at least. Because if I fall back a little bit, the ground's right here, and that's run over. So, and then I shoot a portal here on the bottom of this, and then I portal peek, and then I go through here, and I shoot under the elevator on 10, and that hits the load really quick. Oh, and right there, actually, I do a PQR back in.
Momentum.
So I get the shot, and then right here I'm doing a PQR. So I go through the portal, and I'm halfway between it, and I destroy the portal, and that knocks me back. It knocks me out of bounds from under the elevator to inbounds under the elevator, like so. And then I jump really quick right there, and that hits the load. So the trigger for the elevator to go up is when you hit a trigger on the bottom of the elevator. And the way we do this is just jumping, and the game like thinks that I'm like there or something. So anyways, the problem is now is that I don't have a second portal gun. Like I mean I don't have the upgraded portal gun. So I need to somehow get back in bounds. I cannot be under like okay. I'm getting my words a bit mixed up. So I need to not be under the elevator because there's no way out if I like without the upgraded portal gun. So now I need to recomplete the chamber while the elevator is going up. So now I'm on a timer. If I don't get to the end of this chamber before the elevator gets up, the game soft locks. The next map won't load unless I'm there.
You appear to understand how a
So I'm on a
force
really
affects
quick timer
forward
here,
momentum, or to be more
and
precise, how it does
I
not.
get to here, and the game like I guess thinks I'm inside the elevator or something. If I'm like pretty much the game is just like, okay, if you're in this position, load the next map. Like that's how the game works. But I'm not actually in the elevator. So yeah. And so the reason that saves time is because I just hit the load really early in the level. It saves about 5 seconds over the normal inbound strat, or former out of bound strat as well. And this also saves time in Chamber 11 in the beginning. It saves a couple seconds, I think, maybe 1 or 2. Because I don't need to wait for the elevator to open or anything. Here, I'm gonna wait. I can hear the orange portal go off in Chamber 11. And so now I'm shooting a portal right below me. And now I'm in Chamber 11 where that orange portal spawns back there. And I'm gonna AFH off this texture right here. And get to the upgraded portal gun from here. If I end up missing it, I can actually shoot a portal up here and then turn around and go through the orange one and jump on and get to here, but it's a second slower or so. So I successfully do that. I get the upgraded portal gun, and this is where things really start to go downhill. And so there I spam E right here to hit the button so the shaft opens, or not the, I don't know what you want to call it, the latch, whatever. And then I shoot a portal on the wall, and then shoot an orange portal there, so now I'm in here. Here what I'm doing is I'm shooting a portal on this wall, and then I'm going to shoot an orange portal right here about. And what this does is, it's called the portal bump. Sometimes you can actually shoot portals in positions where you shouldn't be able to, but the game doesn't know what to do with the other portal, so it just kind of like bumps it over to the other side, and the other side happens to be out of bounds space. So I shoot the orange portal right there, and so now I have an orange portal out of bounds, and so now I can see out of bounds, and it's convenient because the elevator in chamber 12 is right here. And so there's actually a slight space around right here. I can actually shoot a portal. It's this is hard because if I go any further out, I will soft lock. I mean not soft lock. I will, well yeah, technically soft lock, but I will fall out of bounds and get stuck. So yeah, I'm shooting a portal underneath the elevator, and then I'm PQRing right here to get back in bounds underneath the elevator.
We are pleased to
But
present
now
an
since I
amusing
have
fact.
both the regular portal gun and the upgraded portal gun, I can now mess around and underneath the elevator. So what I'm doing here is I shoot an orange portal on on the ground right here.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason for this is it's something called load glitch. I don't know the exact mechanics around it. It's very similar to a save glitch. It might actually be the same concept. But all you have to know is that it kind of just messes with my where I can see out of bounds and stuff, or I can like walk through certain walls and stuff like that. So I shoot a portal on the ground right here. And when the level loads, it acts like a save and load, I guess. So technically, I guess you can say I'm save glitched right now. And then right here I crouch, and in order for it to be active, I need to shoot a portal. So I just shoot a portal on the top left side of here, and now I can see outside the elevator. And here, the under the elevator is back here, and so I'm just shooting a portal underneath the elevator. And then I have this neat strat I came up with, where I will look down, shoot an orange portal like that, and jump at the same time. And then as I'm falling, I will shoot the surface right here with a blue while I'm halfway between the orange. And this is just a PQR back in, like that. And that happens for the next like 6 chambers or something. It's kind of ridiculous, but yeah. So I'm just doing the load glitch again right here. You'll see actually I look up right here, and the reason is because this notch is it's a visual cue for me to know. So the elevator geometry is really strange. Pretty much if I go over here or over here, I will actually fall out of bounds forever. But for some reason in the center of this elevator right here, I can actually walk out pretty far, and I need to walk out far in this chamber in order to shoot underneath the elevator, because this elevator is like covered with this weird texture right here. So I need to get really far out in order to successfully shoot underneath the elevator right here. So I go far out, I shoot it, and then I just do my PQR. Oh, and it's worth mentioning that I can't do my jump strat here, where I jump and do PQR, because there's a trigger in this elevator for whatever reason that if I jump, it like won't let me shoot this surface over here. Hold on. This surface. Like it won't let me if I jump. It's kind of weird. It's the only chamber that does that, for me at least, in this route. So I have to just walk over to the portal, and while I'm halfway between it, I shoot a portal, and that knocks me back in bounds underneath the elevator. And then you can notice like I'm jumping every single time. That's because I want to hit the load for the elevator to go up. So it's the same exact thing. This chamber is self-explanatory. So yeah, I don't really need to commentate this or tell you guys about it, because it's the same thing as the previous 2 chambers. It's worth mentioning also that PQRs are really hard. So doing 6 of them in a row right here underneath the elevator is like getting them all first try in a row is so hard, and it's underappreciated. Because when you're watching this, you're probably like, oh, this looks pretty easy, like this part, and it's actually a bit boring, but it's actually really hard. So yeah. Next is chamber 17. I think this one's, oh no, this is 18. Oh, okay. So this is where I need to start talking again. Okay, so I need to shoot. Okay, so the way 18 works is it's the same exact thing as 5, chamber 5. GLaDOS, I mean the elevator won't go up unless GLaDOS' speech ends. But the only way for you to trigger GLaDOS' speech is to hit a certain trigger up here. So instead of shooting underneath, okay, so pretty much if I shoot underneath the elevator and hit the load, the elevator won't go up because the game never like GLaDOS never talked and her dialogue never ended. So it's like not gonna go up. It just softbox. So I actually have to shoot a little bit to the side so I can activate her speech, and I shoot a PQR right here. And now I'm back in bounds in 18, and then I jump back over here, because the trigger for her dialogue to start is over here and on this floor, and you can hear her start talking now.
Done. Be advised that the next test requires exposure
so now I
to
get to the elevator, and now I'm just waiting for her
parts that
dialogue
may
to
be
end.
dangerous under certain conditions. For more information, please attend an Enrichment Center Electrical Safety Seminar.
At this point, I was actually really nervous. Actually, I really wasn't nervous compared to some of my other good runs. But enough about me. Next is probably one of the hardest tricks in the game. I've got pretty consistent at it, but I shoot a portal on the top of this wall, and it's important that it's at the top, and you'll see why in a sec. And then I shoot a portal on the ground, and I'm gonna jump at a I'm gonna jump at a right angle to this top thing. And the reason is because if I do that, if I jump through the top half of this portal, I can actually see out of bounds for a second, because the other portal is on like the top half of a wall near the ceiling, and so it's right near out of bounds space. So yeah, and right here, this is perfect because now you can see like perfectly. I can see out of bounds. This is a really tight window. This is only a couple ticks, and so I shoot right there. So now portal's out of bounds, and then I shoot another portal on the wall so I can get in. And now I want to shoot this surface back here. I have pretty much a window of this little rectangle right here. And that just gets me like to the end. And then I go back.
You are done.
And then I shoot a portal right here. And right here is the trigger for the next map to load. So that's what I'm doing. And so then I loaded the next map right there. And so this is escape. This is the first escape map. So now I'm just putting my portals in a certain position. So I shoot a portal on the top left side of this blue like rectangle thing. And then I go through it by shooting a portal below me. And that allows me to see up here, which is the end of the chamber, or the escape map. I want to shoot around right here, because this is the end of the shaft where the loading zone is for the next map. So I shoot there, and I shoot below me to get through, and then so now I'm near the shaft, which is right here. And then for me to hit the loading zone, I need to shoot an orange portal up here, and then I need to jump back through the blue portal. This is kind of weird because if you don't jump through the portal right here correctly, you will actually lose your portal gun, because if you're like outside the load of the map but you like load the map or something, you lose your portal gun because you don't like actually spawn with your portal gun. I guess the game like, I don't even know, it's so weird. And it's actually happened in runs before where I would lose my portal gun because I went through the load incorrectly. So yeah, that's what happens. So I need to like jump through here. So pretty much what I do is I jump, and then I hold shift and A immediately after to get through. So yeah, that's all I'm doing just now. So now this is the last map of the game. At this point I was kinda nervous because I knew I had a chance, but I didn't know this map was gonna go this well. So anyways, I shoot a portal. Wait, this isn't the last map, I'm done. This is Escape 01. So I shoot a portal over here. So I'm just trying to like see the end of the chamber. So the goal of all the escape map is just like so I can see the end of the chamber by putting my portals in certain positions. So I shoot a portal there, and then I go through, and now the loading zone for the end of the chamber is around right here. So you'll see me shoot a portal right there, right, and then I go through. So now this is the last escape map. I'm actually kind of stuck right now, so I have to shoot a portal on this wall, or on this fan, the outside of this fan, and then go through it. And now I can move kind of freely, which is needed. And then I shoot a portal on this floor right here on out of bounds space. And this is the end of the hallway to the GLaDOS fight. Well, technically this is, but this is like before the door to the GLaDOS fight. So I'm getting to the end of the map right there, and then right there I do a PQR to get back in bounds. As such, and then here, there's this glitch where you can make turret. I'll just explain it later. So, I shoot a turret on the bottom of that. God damn it, VLC is dumb. So I'm gonna shoot a portal on the bottom of this surface underneath the turret, and then I'm gonna do a PQR into the turret room, and I shoot a blue portal so I can get back to inbound space. And then bring the turret through, put a portal in front of it, and then put an orange portal there. So now the turret view can now see down this hallway. And this is important because I need the turret to shoot GLaDOS. And this is found in like 2007 or 2008 by Grubo. So this is a really old glitch, but it's the biggest find ever in this game, arguably, because it saves like 2 or 3 minutes. So what it does is the game, I guess, puts the same properties on the turret bullets and the rockets, or something like that. And so when the turret bullets hit when the turret bullets hit GLaDOS, it knocks her cores off as if you just hit them with rockets. I don't know, this game is kind of dumb, like I said before. But I guess they have like the same properties or something. And it knocks not all of her cores off, because one of her cores has this weird state where it can't be knocked off by bullets. It's like it's on a timer essentially for when it should be dropped. It's in the glitchless fight, like without glitches. It's the first core that drops. So yeah.
Well, you found me.
So now right here I'm just collecting the cores.
Was it worth it? Because despite your violent behavior, the only thing
so
you
yeah,
managed to break
this
so far.
core right here can be kind of a troll sometimes. Sometimes when I drop it, it will land. Okay, so you can see this light right here. Well, sometimes, okay, you can't really like shoot portals around this light. Like in this like radius right here, you can't shoot portals. So say it like lands like right there, I can't get it into a portal, so I can't get it into the incinerator. So sometimes it'll like bounce over here and then it runs over because I can't get it in quickly or something. But luckily that was fine.
Maybe you could settle for that and we'll just call it a day. I guess we both know that isn't
here I'm waiting for GLaDOS to say a specific word, and that word is path. And that's like the earliest I can hit the button, because if I hit it too early, I just like won't get the cores in the incinerator in time. Like it'll shut before I can get it in. So this is just like the safest way of doing it.
To happen. You chose
well, quickly at least. So now I shoot a portal on like above the incinerator. I hit the button, and then I put 1, 2, 3, and you can see them falling in right here. And you can hear GLaDOS like freaking out because she just like almost died or whatever. And then she drops her core, and then before her core is dropped, I shoot an orange portal, so it immediately falls to the orange portal into the incinerator, which saves time, of course. So it falls immediately, and you saw the last core just go in, and time is coming up right when the crosshairs disappear. So now it's time, and that's 8:48.24 right there. At this point, I kind of tabbed out and started freaking out because world record or whatever. So here's me staring at a floor for a minute, and then credits roll. Candle goes out, still alive, etc. So that's an explanation of Portal Out of Bounds speedrun using my world record video. I hope this helped. I know some things are really confusing. You probably still don't understand like half of it, because I don't even understand some things. But I'm just telling you like how things work and why they worked, I guess. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this helped once again.